Can you all hear me?
Hi, Maitri.
Hi.
Yes.
Okay, perfect. I'll just change my name.
Maitri, when there'll be 2 sessions in a week
Yes,
on Tuesday and
Thursdays.
timings will be 3.
We can make it at 2:30. So rather than 3, it like because there are lots of teachers, there are lots of work, so we'll keep it at 2:30 from next time so that it's suitable for everyone.
Maitri, your voice, what you said.
I said we'll make it at 2:30 rather than at 3.
And the class is of 1 hour, na?
Yeah, 1 hour, 45 minutes to 1 hour.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we'll begin today we'll continue our journey. Last time we got an overview as to what are soaps, what are different kinds of soaps. And today we are going to understand as to what exactly the soap does or it should be doing. The basic thing, why do we use soap? It is basically for cleaning our skin. And in that case, because it is cleaning our skin, we also need to know what exactly is its cleansing. So I would want you all to tell me what is it that we need to clean. Like if you have any ideas, I'd like to write that thing down first. So what do we clean? Any
The
ideas?
dirt or environmental pollution that our face or our body faces, due to which it gets dirty, our pores are locked. So to clean it,
Environmental dirt. Okay, then
excessive oil that is secreted from our body to
right. Nice. Oil. Anything else? So there are few things that we require to clean, as Rimple said. Number one is dirt. It could be different, like normal dirt when we just clean some kind of a service and the dirt that we get. Apart from that, there are many other kind of environmental dirt like pollutants, toxins, which are there in the environment. Excess of oil. Our skin produces oil by itself, and in some of the cases, like people who have oily skin or normal to oily skin, then oil also is something that we need to clean. Apart from that, there are bacteria and microorganisms. Right, bacteria. You cannot hear me?
Maitri, your voice is cracking actually.
Okay, give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
So, okay. So first is dirt. We clean dirt. Now, apart from dirt, there are many other pollutants and toxins that we find in our environment, which needs to be cleaned every day. Oil, excess of oil in many of the people's cases, people who have normal to oily skin or very oily In that case, we need to also clean oil. Apart from that, we have bacteria. Our skin is exposed to thousands of different, so other different kinds of microorganisms, pathogens, which needs to be cleansed every day. We also need to clean sweat. Our body sweats every day. It helps in acclimatizing ourselves, our body, with the temperatures around us. And also sweat is, there are two reasons why we sweat, and there are two ways why we how we sweat. This will be learning more in details when we learn about dermis and glands. But there are two types of sweat. One sweat helps in acclimatizing the temperature, and other self sweat helps in releasing some kind of, it helps in releasing out certain dirt, certain toxins from our body again. So we need to clean that kind of a sweat, which helps in releasing the toxins and everything. Apart from that, we need to clean dead skin cells. Every day, our skin sheds millions of cells. We'll be learning more that, but every day, our skin sheds millions of skin cells. And if these dead skin cells are again keep, like, they'll form layers and layers on our skin, making our skin uneven. It will make our skin dry, flaky. The skin won't look good. So it is necessary for cells in a periodic time. Exactly what our soap needs. Some of the things that a soap well. Now let's see as to how the, what do we use to clean the soap. What do we use to clean all of these things? In the olden times, when we did not have soap, we used to still take care of our skin. We used to still use certain ingredients. We used to use natural resources to clean our skin and take care of our skin. In fact, skincare goes way beyond around around 3,000 years ago. So till since then, is like what, 150 years ago, that soaps came into picture in our skin. And the reason is the same. How do we clean our skin in before the soap era? Knowledge, and how do we add that in soap is going to help us create different kinds of soap and help us removing all of these things that needs to be cleansed. So to remove dirt, water is one of the major important things that we use. Just to say, for example, you have washed something, you have cleaned something, and just 1 minute. Just say, for example, you have cleaned something, and go, you wash your hands with water, and your hands are clean. So the normal dirt, you can just wash it with water, and you can clean yourself. Apart from that, for environmental and pollutant toxins and everything, we used to use water. And in the olden times, we used to use something called, right now it's known as charcoal. Anything which is burned, the ashes help a lot in cleansing these pollutants. This and water were used to remove the pollutants, the toxins from our skin. For excess of oil, oil was used to remove oil. It's like in skincare, when it comes to solubility and when it comes to all of these things, there are few rules when it as a formulator or as this case, because of excess of oil, when we apply other excess of oil, the oil dissolves the oil that is within the skin, and once we rinse it off, it helps in removing the excess of oil. And that is the reason why in the olden times people used to use olive oil, castor oil, other different kinds of oils, depending on the locality, depending on which places you were using, and oil was removed from the skin. For bacteria, herbs were used like antibacterial, like neem, basil. And similarly for microorganisms and pathogens, again, we used to use antimicrobial herbs, antibacterial herbs, again, like neem, basil, turmeric. All of these used to give ward off the bacteria, the other different kinds of micro. Sweat, again, water helped a lot to remove just a normal water. Cleansing with water removes the sweat away. When it comes to dead skin cells, we used to use sand, anything which works as an exfoliator, anything which is basically very rough in nature. When we apply that, that roughness of that ingredient will help in removing the dead skin cells from our body. In oil, to remove excess of oil, people also used to use, in that time we used to call it as mud, now they are known as clays. So clays have this amazing ability to absorb this oil and wash off the oil from our body. So before, in the olden times, it started with washing our clothes, our greasy clothes, with a mixture of oil, with a mixture of clay and water. So the clothes were immersed in the mixture of water and clay, and that clay would remove the excess of oil. The water will remove all of the other different dirt that is required, and that is how people used to wash the clothes. Now, gradually, then they started applying this mud, this clay, like multani mitti, French rehousel, French green clay. Different kinds of clays were used to remove that excess of oil. Today, again, when it comes to soap making or even in skincare, these are again some of the herbs, some of the actives, some of the ingredients that we use in our skincare and soap making to clean off our skin very well. Now, this was all before the soap era. Now, after soap came into picture, things changed. All of these things, if you see, if you want to remove bacteria, you needed to add antibacterial herbs. You have to make a paste, or there, like, there are different kinds of things that you have to do to take care of your skin. But with the discovery of soap, or with the invention or discovery of soap, things changed. Now there's something called known as surfactants. Surfactants are basically surface active agents. This is a book with you. I would want you to write this thing down. It is very much important, be it skincare or be it soap making. There is a rule of like dissolves like. And so that means when it comes to a skincare and when it comes to our soap making, you must have seen everything is either oil based or water based. We won't get into alcohol, but even in our skin, to take care of our skin, we require water and we require oil. And that is how oil and water becomes one of the two of the most important things when it comes to taking care of our skin, be it adding ingredients to the skin or being removing from our thing. You must have seen over here it's oil and most of them are water. So oil and water are the two important things in soap making and in skincare. But again, one of the basic science that we know, oil and water do not mix well. If you have a dirt on your skin which is oil based, you cannot remove it with water. Similarly, if your water, and if you try cleaning it with oil, you won't be able to clean your skin. So you require two types of agents to clean your skin, which is oil and which is water. And this is how a soap can help, because a soap is a surfactant. Now let's understand what exactly is a surfactant. I'm going a overview as to what exactly are surfactants. Surfactants are those ingredients that we use in our skincare, wherein they help in foam, they help in creating foam, they help in creating those bubbles. So whenever we apply soap, that foamness, that bubbliness that comes, that is because of the presence of a surfactant. In cleansers and face washes and all of those things, we add a surfactant to water to give that bubbliness, to give that foamness. And these surfactants help in cleansing of our skin. Now, soap itself is an anionic surfactant. It is a surfactant. So let's exactly understand what a surfactant is. So surfactant is a type of a molecule. If you see this is a surfactant molecule, wherein one molecule, it contains a hydrophilic polar head. That means the head of the surfactant likes water and it attracts towards water. Wherein on the other hand, the tail, which is like attached to the head, that tail, this curvy one, this tail is a hydrophobic. That means it is oil loving. That means it is this is water attracting and this is oil attracting. So the head attracts water and the tail attracts oil. In usual of the cases, either like in most of the molecules, you will either find only the molecule attracting towards water or towards oil. But surfactants are those ingredients which can attract towards both. The head will attract towards water and the tail will attract towards the oil. So these are known as oil loving, water loving head and oil loving tail. I'll write it down over here. Do you want to draw this thing in your book? I think you should do that. Just write.
Please hold the slide for like couple
Yes,
of
I am holding it. I am holding it. So what I want you to do is just write that soap is a surfactant. What is a surfactant? Draw, it's like a lollipop. Imagine a lollipop. So draw a lollipop. Next time I'll also get my drawing thing with you all so I can show it along with you. So this is the head. Draw, color it with black thing. Water attracting or water loving head, and then near the tail, oil loving tail. Also, I would want you to also write these pointers down. I'll be sharing this, but I think it is better that you write it down as well. So you are 7 types of things that you need to clean. Let me know once you are done. So I'll also ask you to write 2 other things. Oh shit, sorry. Done? Okay. So Kalyani is done. So there are 2 important rules that you need to write it down in your to remember. One, the first rule is rule of solubility. That means water dissolves only in water-based water and water dissolving ingredients. Like there are other ingredients like juices, apple cider vinegar. All of these are basically water and water based ingredients. Water and these are very basics. It's a very basic science, but if you understand the science, you are really very good to go even making skincare products. And even in soap making, you will understand how do soaps work, and you will be in a better position to add ingredients to solve a particular problem when it comes to cleansing. Now I'll continue. Now, what happens when we add the surfactants, or what happens when we use the soap on our skin? So when we add the surfactants, or when the soap comes in contact, now our soaps are made up of millions and millions of these surfactant molecules. So when we apply soap on our skin, they form something called micelles. This is also how your micellar water came into picture. If you would have known, the micellar water is based on the science of micelles. These micelles are basically the formation of surfactant molecules when they come in contact with either oil or water, or both of them, oil and water. So what happens? This surfactant comes in water and oil both together, which are there in our skin. Our skin contains both oil and water. What it does is it creates these micelles wherein the water loving head will orient itself towards the water molecule, wherein the oil loving tail will orient themselves towards the oil molecules. They will grab both of them, and then it will wash off. Have and the other hand, so this is also a science of surfactants, emulsifiers in oil and H2O. This is more of oil and water, water and oil. But the idea is, just imagine these surfactants, these lollipops are going within your skin, and then the water molecules orient themselves towards the water, and the oil loving tail will orient themselves towards the oil. They will fuel, and they will, when we use, it will wash off, thus cleansing our skin from both kinds of dirt, water and oil. And this is how our soap helps in cleansing our skin. Now, just imagine when there is so in many of the cleansers in soap, the water is evaporated. Like when we keep curing the soap, the water gets evaporated. What leaves behind are the oil, and you have your lye. So the lye, the oil, the water, when it gets separated, the saponification between the lye and the oil converts it into an ionic surfactant, which gives you this particular molecule. And ionic surfactant is basically with the charges, it has a negative charge, so they are more drying in nature. So that's one thing to keep in mind. However, coming back to the science, now just imagine when there is no oil molecule between this at first, especially when we are using cleansers, like the liquid cleansers, they just contain water and surfactants. In our case, it just contains oil itself is a surfactant, so it helps in cleansing both. But in cases of a cleanser, which is a liquid cleanser, it does not contain oil. It just contains water, and this part is empty. I'm talking about the liquid based cleansers. Now this part is empty. So when we apply the liquid cleansers, what it will do is this will orient itself towards the water loving head, wherein this empty part, when we apply it on our skin, this empty part where the oil molecule should be there, this empty part will pick up the oil molecules from our skin, and when we apply water onto our body to wash it off, thus the excess of oil is like removed from our skin. So this is how the surfactants or the soap works. It has oil loving and water loving. It is a molecule that contains both oil loving tail and water loving head, helping you to clean all, at least the dirt, the oil, the sweat, and all of those things in a much more easy way, in a much more better way. Now, and the other things that we add to our soap, like oil, like clays, antibacterial herbs, the juices that we'll be adding, that will help in giving extra cleansing to the bacteria, microorganisms, and other different kinds of pollutants. Like charcoal soap, if we have, that is known for its pollutants, that is known to longer period of time. For that person, the charcoal soap have acne, people, blackheads, whiteheads, for them antibacterial soap is very much important. We'll figure out when we'll find out how dry skin is caused. So for why these antibacterial a lot, but in antibacterial, antimicrobial, or dry skin, good oil based soap, like in coming time, oil will help in trapping the glycerine skin and then having a layer of that oil, so that the excess of the dry skin anyway do not have lots of oil in this. So when these cold processed soap oils are these oil based soaps are used, it won't rip away the amount of oil that the dry skin already has, and drying it more. And just the fact the how this lie the presence of oil and the presence of water, and then getting the glycerine into picture, takes care of our dry skin, and by adding these external additives, taking care of our oily skin, because these are the two major skin types when it comes to taking care of our skin. And this is how you can take care of your skin, by cleansing. And remember one thing, cleansing is number one when it comes to skin regime. The reason behind it is, it gives, once we clean our body and then we add something, the body contains, so imagine there are lots of dirt particles which are there sitting. So after we cleanse, it gives a way, it makes a space for the other nutritional things that we need to add to our skin. So cleansing is very important. Now, for dry skin, you need to use only 3 times a week is what I suggest. For oily skin, have cleansing it every day. If it's very acne prone skin, then you might want to clean it regularly throughout the day. But when it comes to dry skin, using these perfect any kind of soap, any pH balance, whatever it is, do not use lots of soap, because it will end up drying even your skin type. Also, you need to choose your soap, or you need to formulate your soap. Understand till now? Any questions?
Maitri, could you please repeat the last point you just told about the different types of soaps and skins? Last point, yeah.
So for oily skin, you require clay soap, antibacterial soap, pollutants will help in charcoal soap. And for dry skin, oil like super fat, I'm just writing it down. Now, for oily skin, it has to be daily And for 3 to 4 times a week. When I say 3 to 4 times a week, that is like on your body, but your armpits, your pubic region, you might want to clean it every day with soap. But when it comes to your face, when it comes to your hands, your body, if you have a dry skin, then only 3 to 4 times a week you can use the soap. If not, generally you can just wash it with your water, and you can just exfoliate a little bit with your hands, or with a rough cloth or something. But do not keep, like, it's a very like, people say, oh my god, you've not taken bath with a soap every day, that is. But if you have a dry skin, I would suggest don't. And if you have oily skin, then yes, you will require to take bath every day with a soap. And if you have acne prone skin, 2 to 3 times daily. But over here, when we not this soap, not the cold processed soap, basically when it comes to skincare, it's like, you have things together. So you might want to keep a micellar water. The micellar, I told, it depends on the sign of surfactants. So micellar water helps in keeping that freshness to your skin, removing that excess of oil whenever necessary, only in case of skin.
Maitri, I have a question here. Should I wait till the end or can I ask right now?
Yes, please.
Okay, in one of the long back, like, in one of the YouTube videos of somebody, I heard that anybody with acne prone skin, their body is basically producing more oil,
Right.
especially the face or the T area, right? And then if we are going to wash it multiple times, in that case, the skin is going to double up the production of oil, because it will, again, the skin is going to get dry and the process just doubles up, like for the oil production. So is it true?
No. So the oil production is completely hormonal. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot manage the production of oil in our skin. The androgen hormone from the body, which we secrete, which we release, that
Mm-hmm.
androgen hormone itself is the only thing that. So there are two things that makes our skin, that gives hormone, and other is the process of. Now in both of the cases, hormonal thing, the
Mm-hmm.
oil secretion. So there is action. The thing what she's talking about is, what happens is, that is when the water is less in our skin, no. So many a
Mm-hmm.
times you must have seen that many people who have dry skin, they
Mm-hmm.
also sometimes. So that
Right.
is, the skin contains lack of water. So
Mm-hmm.
the skin thinks because there is lack of water, our skin is not moisturized enough, not hydrated enough.
Mm-hmm.
And the relationship, that is because, like, there is a relationship between the oil and protection. Now when a skin realizes that there is less of water, that means to protect whatever there is there in the skin within the below layers,
Mm-hmm.
it produces a little bit more of oil in the upper layers of the skin, not in the dermis area. That gives the problem with less of hydration, not with less of oil percentage. So any other questions? So can I take a little bit of test of yours? So I'll just close this off.